just wanna ball. Diamond wrist drip, slip through the pitfalls. I just wanna chill with the big dogs. House on the hill with a big dog. Make it a ride, I'm taking a lot. So it's about time that I get what I got. And it's about time that I get what I need. And yes, I'm needy, I need to succeed. Know what I need it all. So I don't live with my back to the wall. Don't have to answer whenever you call. Who that on the line, it don't matter, dog. Oh, not at all. Oh, what a gift. Just to be rich and not giving a shit. Just to be rich and not giving a shit. Pinky up, I'm gonna take me a sip.
I need the cash. Money sounds on every bag. Green in the eye of each lad. Pockets so fat like I'm smuggling packs. I only deal with my time in these maps. Role playing the tactician and craft. Art of success, if I dub it, is that. As dinners and fat guarantee for a hunter. A winner I see in the mirror who trumped me. I need my anthem to blare with some trumpets. Mama's fair for repair and she also consistently stable and nothing could offset me. A boss type beat, lead the starship stream through outer space. I'm a star, baby boo, better watch the race. And you'll see me live today and die trying to just don't break. Except all the bread we make with 2 hands. Better get your ball together and stretch bands. Do it all for as long as you can. Get your sandwich ready and go hand. The baloney niggas just can't comprehend.
Yo, cash rules everything around me. In that I am drowning, cause I don't know accounting. Blame it on my school system, blame it on my county. In that I am drowning, blame it on my clowning. Blame it on my young and my dumb, and not knowing where it's from, and not knowing where it's going. Might as well throw it in the ocean. As I put my back in motion, might as well throw it on some drinks. Hit a Miami for 2 weeks, might as well throw it on the beach. I don't give a fuck about the economy. They ain't never helping those in poverty. They ain't never coming here to save you. Waiting on that trickle down in your brain roots. You the blood, sweat, and tears of this whole operation, though. You will make it operational, but don't deserve paid vacation, though. I don't know what I look like. Who with a fool? I'm losing my cool. I need to make moves, get my community under a groove. Like one nation, so we never lose. Nothing can stop us now. They will not knock us down. We will not chill while they chop us down. That is not simply allowed. I'm not the one to kowtow. Cash rules everything around me. In that I am drowning, cause I don't know accounting. Blame it on my school system, blame it on my county. In that I am drowning, blame it on my clowning. Blame it on my young and my dumb, and not knowing where it's from, and not knowing where it's going. Might as well throw it in the ocean. I put my back in motion, might as well throw it on some drinks. In a Miami for 2 weeks, might as well throw it on the beach. Oh yeah. She love to back it up when we in the club. She love to show me love. Oh yeah. She love to back it up when we in the club. She love to show me love. Oh yeah.
Baby girl, hold it right there. 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 Baby girl, hold it right there.
I would like to be traded to any other team but the New England Patriots.
Big brain predictions. That's what I got.
Take it off, sir.
The Washington football team beat the Steelers.
And that person.
EDP.
Yes, but if we lose this game, I firmly believe we do not need to make playoffs. So
Don't you ever disrespect me.
What is going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. This is After Further Review, episode 96. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I'm your other wonderful co-host for 2 weeks in a row with no black shirt on, Shaquille Brown.
Yes. And I'm everyone's hated co-host, Malin, who I am sitting in the co-captain's chair tonight because Shaq decided to fight a homeless person in the ER and hurt his back. And he's too high on pain meds to drive down here and be with us.
How's the pipe that I'm functioning? It's all right.
It was either that or what I really think happened is Shaq is dealing with a rare disease called HADS, H-A-D-S. And if you don't know what that is, it is heavy-ass dome syndrome. His back has been supporting that head for far too long, and it's just kind of getting debilitating. So I'm going to help steer the ship tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh, that's nuts.
Some people.
Somebody's going to go Google HADS after watching this show. They're like, shit, I'm about to make a Wikipedia page about it.
We all know who the poster child will be.
Well, yeah, there's going to be 2 photos. There's going to be the Statue of Liberty, and there's going to be Shaq. That's what we're going to have.
Big ass poster.
You know what Shaq looked like? You know, all them players be wearing those padded things over their helmets now, so their heads look fucking huge when they're on the practice field. It's just Shaq don't even got pads on. Alright, I'm done. I already used all 3 of them in the first 30 seconds of the show.
I promise you all this is a sports show. It's
Hey, I just brought up football. We're good.
Yeah, folks. If you're new to the show, then maybe you don't know this, but we don't usually stream from King Corona, which is where we're at now. Shaq also doesn't usually throw at his back, so we're a little mixed around this week.
Shaq got nightlife. I don't know.
I think it's usually other people's backs getting thrown out, but that's neither here nor there.
That's true. That is true.
So
we're not gonna kiss and tell, though.
Yeah, if you're not aware, we live stream the show every Wednesday night at usually 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time here on YouTube. It's the first link down in your podcast description. Come join the live chat. You can, of course, watch the show afterwards as soon as we're done. But if you want to watch live and be in the chat, like our man G Money, who is saying, I've heard of HADS. I believe Shaq has his L1 through L8 compressed because of it.
Yeah, and G Money is a medical professional. So.
Jesus Christ, we've been streaming for like 3 minutes.
Medical professional.
We spent 2 minutes and 50 seconds we were talking about that big ass head.
I'm just realizing we don't have anything to take a shot of.
Yeah, but we can take cheers.
We can cheers.
Listen, I'm not spending $10
water because I use I'm
not doing $10 a shot.
Right, that works out for everybody.
Shaq, at least you're not taking shots of lemon juice like Jalen's dumbass a few weeks ago when
lemon
he decided not to drink on the show.
Good vitamin C.
He just wanted it to look like he was taking a shot of something on camera. Get that burn in. It's good beer, though. What are you drinking?
I've got the...
No, you're drinking high-quality H2O, sir. We know what you're drinking.
I've got the Sweetwater 420 Pale Ale.
All right. I got the Big Storm Bromosa. It sounds like a white boy bitch beer, but it's an IPA, so I'm dealing with it. I like orange IPAs, so...
Do you like that one?
Yeah, it's good. Kind of tastes like orange juice, though.
It looks like it, too.
I think there's beer in there somewhere. I don't know.
Well, let's go ahead and get into the first segment of the week, which is the news.
Today's top stories and breaking news.
All right. So, it has been a loaded week in terms of news We're going to start off with a bit of sad news, and that is the fact that Bill Russell did pass away a few days ago at the age of 88. Man lived a long life, but this kind of came out of nowhere. It was just a random thing. I believe his cause of death is still, his family hasn't put that out, but I mean, the man lived to 88. What did you guys think? Like, what was your first reaction when the great Bill Russell passed away?
You know, I don't know who's supposed to go first this week, Shaq. I don't know if it's supposed to be me or you, so I'm just going to say you go, and then I'll still go. I'm going to give you respect, sir, because you got a disease. Might be terminal.
Like Jalen said, it's very sad to hear. He did live a long life, though, till 88, but rest in peace to a legend. So, very upsetting to hear.
Well, that was really eloquent, Shaq.
Short, sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll say this, that, you know, anytime you lose the second greatest basketball player to play in the NBA, that hurts. Okay? And it's one of our Celtic own.
Yes.
Right? So that's painful. What's even sadder, though, that I wanted to bring in, because everybody knows that I'm a Boston Celtics fan because my Sonics are not a team right now. And you're a Boston sports fan for reasons I don't understand. But you are, but you're not from Boston. So I can say what I'm about to say, and it's not going to hurt anybody's feelings. I was reading into a lot of Bill Russell's life, and I found out that the city of Boston did him dirty.
Yeah.
His entire career. Like, they celebrated the fact that he was winning championships. They loved him when they were getting rings. But he wasn't allowed to move into a white suburbia home.
Right.
In fact, there was a town right outside of Boston, and I'm not going to say the name, but there was a town right outside of Boston that threw him a parade and did like a whole Bill Russell Day, right? And they had like a parade, like a whole bunch of stuff. And then he loved it so much, and he loved the gratitude he got. He was like, you know what, I want to live here. And so he tried to buy a house there, and they stopped him 3 times from buying a house there. And he finally bought a house. But you want to know what he had to deal with for 4 years while he was a player coach for the Boston Celtics?
Tell the viewers.
People would break into his house. They would burglarize it. They would steal his trophies. They would steal rings. There's an actual story of him coming home one night after a playoff game from the Boston Garden and coming home, and somebody had broken out a window, gone into his house, and took a shit in his living room on the floor. How? Just the city of Boston should be ashamed of themselves.
Right.
Not just for your past, because I don't think that they're any better. They come across as more racist than Alabama more times than not.
Yeah.
When it comes to the way that they treat sports stars. Like, what do you think would have happened to David Ortiz if he was playing for the Red Sox back then?
Right. Jesus.
I mean, Bill Russell said that there used to be a rule for the Boston Celtics when he was the player coach. He said that you could play 2 black players at home, 3 black players on the road, and 5 black players in the fourth quarter if you're down. That is a quote that Bill Russell said.
That's crazy.
That is disgusting for somebody that stood with the likes of Muhammad Ali and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and fought for civil rights and won that many championships and lived the life that he did. And I didn't really realize or understand the fractured relationship that he had with the city of Boston for as long as he did. That man should have been appreciated for a hell of a lot more of his life than what he was. And so it saddens me that he had to go through some of the stuff he did. To be able to get the recognition he gets now and the moratorium he gets now, But you want to talk about not just a sports icon, but to me, like a true patriot.
Yeah.
A true American patriot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saddened for his family. My prayers are out to them. And, Boston, outside of my Celtics, fuck you. I think you guys are hateful. And learn to love people. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've never understood that when it comes to Boston. I've never been to Boston proper. But that is a common theme throughout all of their sports, is that when it comes to black stars throughout history, they always give them a ton of shit, to put it generally speaking. But yeah, I don't know why that is. But the fact that Bill Russell just endured that for a lot of his career and was still able to win so many championships and set so many records and be as dominant as he was. I mean, I couldn't imagine when your own, it's not like an away team, like a specific city that all right, when we go there, we're going to get shit. But his own team, his own city hated him. Like, that's just asinine to have to go through on a daily basis. But the man just persevered.
I mean, you want to talk about like people you should hate. Boston should hate somebody by the likes of Bill Buckner,
Right.
86, Boston Red Sox, white guy, losing a World Series for the Boston Red Sox when it had been 70-some plus years since they had won the World Series. No one shit in his living room.
Right.
Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, I hate it. I think it's disgusting. But what a great man.
Yeah, I mean, I've had so much respect for him throughout the years. Like that, when I found that out the other day, that was really, really sad. Because like he was stayed pretty close to the NBA. Like you would always see him at games throughout pretty much every year. He was just seemingly a really, really, really great guy, and everybody talks highly of him. So.
And he always built relationships with the newer generations of NBA stars. Mm-hmm. Like he had a relationship with the LeBron James, the Garnetts, the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, all of them, the Barkleys. He had personal relationships with all of them. So yeah, he will definitely be missed. The next time that Boston Celtics win a championship, which will be next year, it'll be sad that he won't be on the court like he was back in 2008, hugging Kevin Garnett. That was a moment that I remember back in 2008, him hugging Kevin Garnett and the love that Garnett had with Bill Russell. Like that was real, and that'll be sad that he won't be able to experience the next championship that we win.
Mm-hmm. G Money says, I was saddened. Not only did we lose an NBA icon, but he was a great individual who was involved in the civil rights movement, and he stood up for everything he believed. He was indeed a great American. I've said it before, Boston is a racist city, and I will not back down from that statement.
I mean, G Money is a Marine, so you can't back him down from anything. And before we move into anything else in the news, we did lose another sports icon last night. And I want to make sure we give the proper due. The great late broadcaster Vince Scully, who held the same job as the Dodgers broadcaster for 67 years.
It's crazy.
That man was broadcasting games when Jackie Robinson was playing. Like, that's the type of history that man has in Major League Baseball. But he was a national icon.
Yeah.
Like, you could listen to him call World Series games throughout my entire youth and not even realize that he was the everyday broadcaster for the Dodgers. And he passed away yesterday at the age of 94. Historic. Just an icon in the baseball world.
He was the voice of baseball. Just straight up.
So, and he ended up retiring, and this is the saddest thing for me about Vince Scully, is that he retired from broadcasting the year before the Dodgers won the World Series again.
I see.
So he didn't get to call that World Series if they won. But no, I just think that another icon, we lose somebody else in the sports world. It makes me feel old that we're starting to lose some of these people.
Yeah.
But again, 94 years old, 88 years old.
Yeah.
That's a life.
Right.
I don't even know if I want to live that long. Right. Shit, my body hurts now. God damn. Look at Shaq. I mean, well, I say look at Shaq, and then he left. So, Shaq said, "Don't look at me." So that was interesting.
Don't know how that happened, but I'm assuming he'll just join back in.
We lost him. I mean, we got to find him somewhere. He's hard to miss. He is somewhere in the stratosphere. We promise, America.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like Vince Scully, though, man, he was just he was a legend. We've lost 2 legends.
Yeah.
In the span of a few days here, so it's sad.
God bless both of their families. I'm sure that is not easy to go through when somebody's been around that long. But yeah, happy to have been around while they were around. So moving on to the next piece of news, which I believe was some extensions. Yes.
Oh, we got some extensions already.
So 2, same draft class, right? Debo and DK Metcalf.
Well, most of these people are from the same draft class that have gotten all these contracts.
Yeah.
I know that McLaurin,
the
Washington
receiver.
I know he was in the same draft class. I know that AJ Brown was in the same draft class.
Yeah.
So you got 4 out of the 8 that have gotten some big contracts.
Yes. Shaq, good to have you back there. We're just talking about Deebo Samuel signing his 3-year, $71.5 million extension with the 49ers, $41 million fully guaranteed at signing, and then DK signing 3 years, $72 million with a $30 million signing bonus with the Seahawks. A lot of money getting thrown around. First off, do you guys think that the extension was deserved for both of these guys? You can go ahead, sure.
I do. I think more so DK for sure needs it purely just to keep him per se. He has a lot of potential and big keep.
Okay, so Shaq is picking his ear, so I'm gonna go ahead and go here. So it's funny you said like DK for sure. I'm a Hawks fan, and I will sit here and say that I think that Deebo Samuel is right now in the NFL a better wide receiver. Just because of how important he is to the team. I don't think that there's a single wide receiver in the NFL that was more important to a franchise in the second half of last year than Deebo Samuel to the San Francisco 49ers. Like, they used him for everything. Running, passing, catching off of screens, you know, like they used him a lot. What I think is interesting, though, is that they were the last 2 to get contracts, right?
Right.
But out of the 8 wide receivers that got over $20 million contracts this year, which is just fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like yesterday quarterbacks were breaking the $20 million
Right.
mark. But now we're talking about wide receivers breaking the $20 million mark. But out of the 8 that got $20 million contracts, they are ranked number 6 and number 8 as far as contracts per year. So you got Tyreek Hill making $30 million, Devontae Adams making $28, Hopkins is making $27.3, Cooper Kupp making $26.7, who arguably is just as important as Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
Okay. AJ Brown, who I don't think is as good as Deebo Samuel or DK Metcalf, he got paid $25 million. Then you got DK at $24, Stephon Diggs at $24, and you got Deebo Samuel coming in at $23.9. Now, the crazy thing about Debo's contract. Now, this is the weirdest thing is that they both got their deal done like this last week.
Yeah.
Right. And they didn't reset the market with those deals. They got paid, but they didn't reset the market. Debo saying that what was one of his biggest things was that he thought, hey, I'm being used as a running back and a wide receiver, so you guys need to pay me more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple stipulations in his contract where he can get paid more money. Okay? If he rushes for over 350 yards, he gets $165,000. We're not talking $165,000.
Right.
If he rushes for 350 yards. If he scores 3 rushing touchdowns, he gets $150,000. He not only is he number 8 out of the 8 wide receivers that got a $20 million contract, but they're paying him pennies on the dollar for the contact that he could end up absorbing with them using him as a as a running back.
Yeah.
And so being the way that they use him, like that could end up shortening his career.
Yeah.
Is that really worth $300,000 a year? Like that's just, I don't know. It is definitely team friendly on Debo's part.
Yeah.
I think that the Seahawks one is fair. DK, it sometimes has had the drops a couple times, but he's been really reliable. But for Debo to be as important as he is to that team's success, and with the quarterback situation they have, to be number 8 on that list, it can only make $300,000 running the ball. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Like he's basically gonna be like, especially since Trey Lance is there, he's gonna be like their safety net. Like I feel like Trey Lance is gonna dump the ball off to him if like shit starts to hit the fan, and he's gonna rely on Debo to just do something with the ball after the catch, and he's probably gonna get hit a lot. Like I could see him really taking a lot of contact as a runner, more so than he did with like Garoppolo last year, and it just doesn't seem like you said, like $300,000 to play the role of a running back as well. In the grand scheme of things, for that contract, it's not a lot of money, and it kind of sucks.
Him and his agent pretty much gave the 49ers the green light to use him however they want to use him.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Right.
So.
Shaq, I don't know if you can hear us still. If you can, just say something. But
no, he's still picking his ear. I don't know what's going on with Shaq. I hope he's still alive. His head may have caved in this whole goddamn spinal cord.
I'm gonna text him saying he even come back real quick.
But I mean, like it's just crazy though when you think about it with these wide receiver contracts, right? Like Tyreek Hill is making the most money in the NFL for a wide receiver at $30 million, and he's got Tua throwing him the ball. Devontae Adams has Derek Carr throwing him the ball.
Right.
DeAndre Hopkins has Murray throwing him the ball. Cooper Kupp has Stafford throwing him the ball. A.J. Brown has Hurts throwing him the ball. DK Metcalf has, we don't know who the fuck is throwing the ball. DK Metcalf, it might be Geno Smith. Holy shit. Okay? Deebo Samuel, you don't know who the fuck is throwing him the ball, right? Stephon Diggs is the only one that has a top 5 quarterback throwing him the ball out of all of those 8. That's insane. They're paying that much money for these wide receivers, and they got.
Hear me better now.
There he is.
Yeah. All right.
There
what did you fix? Someone's blocking signal.
If I leave my forehead in too close, it blocks out the rest of the signal. But no.
Okay, see, that does not count on my own forehead jokes. That was a good one though. That was a good one, though.
I just ended up having to picking the Wi-Fi off and just use regular data and everything, and just choppy and everything.
There you go.
Rejoin like 3 different times.
Well, anyways, we're talking about these wide receiver contracts with DK Metcalf and Debo, and I know you said that you were talking about DK Metcalf, but give us a little bit of your insight here on these two.
I mean, I only say that really because of the potential of DK, if he can work on not dropping the ball, his potential is there, and any other teams could grab him up. Unfortunately, if you don't pay him his money or pay him some sort of decent money. That's just my aspect of just making sure he stays and not lose him. Then all of a sudden, next 2 seasons, he pops off for a different team, and you're kind of like, damn.
Yeah,
DK.
I'll agree with you on that. Like, Seattle couldn't afford to lose Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf in the same offseason. But what do you think about the whole Debo Samuel thing here?
They're, like you said, they're using and abusing that man. I mean, it's going to work out well short term, but it's going to suffer for his career long term. Cut his career directly in half or taking all the hits like he does. So,
now,
to find a way.
Were you able to hear what I said about Debo Samuel's contract and the bonuses that he can get?
Yes, and not
worth. Okay, not worth.
That's a lot of content.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not enough. Yes, big money for us normal folks, but like for the wear and tear on his body, pennies for that man, not worth it.
And what do you think about the fact that only 1 out of these 8 wide receivers are having a quarterback throwing to him that's a top 5 quarterback in the league, and that's Stephon Diggs with Josh Allen? Like, that's a lot of money we're paying, anywhere from $30 to $24 million for these people.
Right.
I agree. These receivers, a lot of them are earning their money, but I feel like DK and Homeboy could definitely deserve more money per se on their contracts. But I feel like they are putting in to a degree their work and more well deserved.
The scary part is, outside of like Debo, DK, Stephon Diggs, most of those guys are in a new situation. It's like, how do we know if that connection is going to be worth that much money? Like Tua and Tyreek, or AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. Are we sure that's gonna work out as well? Like, is the chemistry gonna be that great?
I think the only one that's going to work out, like right off the bat, is gonna be Devontae Adams and Derek Carr, because they play together in college.
Yeah.
So what I will say, the one that I'm most intrigued about dynamics-wise is Tua and Tyreek Hill. I mean, shit, I just saw a video, and I know it's training camp, right? I know it's training camp. But Tua threw a 79-yard bomb and hit Tyreek Hill in stride in training camp today with the Dolphins. Like, I am intrigued because of Tua's accuracy, and you don't always need Tyreek to go long. You don't always need him to go deep. He can do those slants, those cuts, hit him short, and he does most of the work. That's the one that I'm most intrigued about. But the other ones, like A.J. Brown and Philly, man, I don't know what the hell you're going to do. DK Metcalf with Geno Smith and Drew Lock, like, count your money, because you're going to count a lot more money than touchdowns. Then you got, Debo Samuel with freaking Trey Lance, the quarterback that looked god-awful. I mean, shit. So, I think the one I'm most intrigued about is the Dolphins situation. I want to see if Tyreek Hill can make Tua that much better. And I want to see if Patrick Mahomes can elevate his game without a Tyreek Hill. Like, that's going to be really interesting to see this year.
Absolutely. All right, let's keep it moving here. Next bit of news, speaking of the Dolphins. So they were just yesterday, stripped of their 2023 first-round draft pick and a 2024 third-round pick for tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton. And then Stephen Ross, the owner, is fined $1.5 million and is suspended from the team until October. NFL coming down on, obviously, the Deshaun Watson and now the Dolphins this week. This one, to me, came off extremely easy for the Dolphins. I mean, the tampering thing is one thing, but we also have to take into consideration of the tanking allegations that Brian Flores brought up a few months ago with them trying to throw games, and that was, he pretty much was able to document that happening. And the fact that all they lose is basically a draft pick and then some money, it's like Stephen Ross is not playing for the team, so if he's not around, who cares? Like, him going to the facility is not going to change how many wins the Dolphins have this year. The money is whatever. It just seemed like the NFL just doing lip service to say, hey, we did punish them. I don't know. The whole thing is just really, really dumb to me. What do you guys think about the punishment that the Dolphins got?
Go ahead, Shaq.
I was going to agree with Jill on the aspect of the punishment doesn't really affect the team directly right now, per se. Like, who gives a shit about your owner not showing up, being around, stuff, whatever. I don't see, he's not like he's directly down there coaching, making calls like that heavily. Right. And losing the draft pick is maybe his goons just gained the best receiver, arguably the best receiver in the league right now. And we can see the chemistry working in practice. This team's still like, sure, I take a little slap on the wrist to continue my business. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they could have punished them. I don't know what exactly kind of punishment, but I feel like it could have been worse.
I will say this: that losing a first-round pick is bad.
It is
bad. And it's definitely worse than when the Patriots lost a first-round pick, because for all intents and purposes, I think we can all agree that the Dolphins are going to be close to a top 10 pick, right? They're probably going to be anywhere between 15 to 10 when it comes to picks, because they're in the tough division. The AFC is stacked. Even though I might think that Tua and Hill or whatever. So that is major. And fining an owner $1.5 million is the most they've ever fined an owner for before. But what I think they're doing, I think this is twofold. Okay? They basically said that they were fining the Dolphins because of the tampering. Okay? They didn't. And when you read everything they're talking about with the tanking, they were disguising it like, well, we didn't really have enough evidence. They didn't say it didn't happen, right? But they focused the fact, and they were very pointed on the fact in this thing, that they did the first round pick, and I think it's a second round pick next year. It's a second or a third next year. And then $1.5 million to the owner. That was handed down because of what they said, tampering.
Right.
Now, what I think really happened is that they had the evidence. Of Ross wanting to fix games and lose. But the NFL is smart. They're like, we don't want to jeopardize the integrity of the league.
Right.
So we're going to dig a little deeper, and we're going to go hit the Dolphins for something that we know that every other NFL franchise does. Every other franchise tampers with people. They're all talking.
Yeah.
Right? So they're floating it as this whole thing is because of tampering. But I think that what it really is they're costing them a first and a second round pick and finding $1.5 million because the owner tried to fix games. And I think that's why he is not allowed specifically around the team for the next few months is because he was trying to fix games, but it didn't work. Like, in the language, like, it literally says, and Judy Batista even pointed this out, and I got this tweet here, important detail in the investigation from Tom Pelissaro. The investigation did not dispute that Ross said something about offering money to tank games. It just said that there were differing recollections about the wording, timing, and context. So they weren't able to flat out deny it. But they were trying to focus on the tampering thing. And if you really only think that the Dolphins were the only people talking to Tom Brady,
right.
You're out of your mind. And the fact that Tom Brady does not get in trouble.
I know.
Even though he was having meetings with the Dolphins, under contract with the Patriots and under contract with the Bucks, and he doesn't get in trouble because they collective bargained it. He doesn't come in, like he was a participating party in this tampering process, right? But he's not going to have a stand on his reputation, even though he was sitting down and having meetings with another team while he was under contract with two different teams. Yeah, he's 100% committed to the Patriots and the Bucks. What the fuck? That man, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
It's so funny to me how the NFL gets into these predicaments where they're like, we have our image to withhold, we have our golden boy. How do we maneuver this? All right, this is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna slap the Dolphins on the wrist. We'll say it was tampering. Don't look at Tom Brady. That's all right. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, like, the NFL hasn't cared about the Dolphins since 1998 when Dan Marino retired. So if they got to be the kill switch,
right.
If they got to take one for the team, that's going to happen. You know. But at some point, Tom Brady was fielding phone calls and taking meetings with these people about ownership possibilities and playing quarterback and stuff.
When I first read this and it said for tampering Brady and Sean Payton, I was waiting like, Brady will be suspended this many games, and obviously Sean Payton's not even in the league right now, but I was like, nothing for Brady? Interesting.
But it's collective bargain that apparently that franchises can get popped for tampering, but NFL players can't get popped for tampering.
Interesting.
So that was a good move for them. But at the same token, like, you think about it, though, with this whole thing, like, you don't lose the first and second round or third round draft pick and get fined $1.5 million for tampering.
Right.
That's not the precedent.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. I mean, Bill Belichick got fined $500,000 for Spygate. You know what I mean? Robert Kraft got fined $1 million for Spygate, where there was cheating involved.
Right.
You don't get fined $1.5 million as an owner for tampering. They're using that as the guise for trying to throw games because they need to protect the integrity of the league. So that's very smart on their part, doing it the way that they did it.
All right, let's keep it moving. We want to watch our time here.
I do want to point out that Morgan is the king of pointing out the obvious, saying that Shaq is frozen. So thank you, Morgan. Nobody else knew that. Appreciate you, buddy. I don't know where you've been. We tried to get you on the show about 20 times in the last 25 weeks. Love you, though, buddy.
Morgan's his best life.
His messages were frozen. That's what it was.
What did you want to just put in the chat, though? So at the time, Brady and Peyton had the same agent. Not only should Brady and Peyton get penalized, so should their agent because he was a part of the parts. Yeah, you know, he's 100% right. But they have, and I don't know if Sean Payton has any type of protection because of any collective bargaining agreement between the Coaches Association. I don't know if he does. but somehow, some way, the NFLPA was able to negotiate that players cannot get in trouble for tampering. I thought it was a two-way street.
Right, I assumed that.
Yeah. Apparently, this is a one-way street. And the Dolphins were running into incoming traffic. And their ass got penalized. So
we are going to move into community comments, speaking of people getting penalized. So I posed the question of the Deshaun Watson suspension. Like, do you guys think that 6 games was right?
Shit, I made a comment on that. Shit, that was a dumb comment, too.
So there was a good... Hold on a second. There was quite a few comments. I'm going to read just a few of them here, and then you guys can weigh in. So I'm going to start with Instagram, then I'll move to Facebook. I'm not sure if TikTok had any, but Gator Ed 420, that's a great name, said, "Nah, he shouldn't be playing football for years, considering Calvin Ridley got a year for betting $1,500. Joe something, I'm not going to even try and pronounce your last name. "As a Browns fan, I'm happy he didn't get more, but he definitely deserved more." Will Cop 18 said, "Not nearly enough to me. You have a good day, man." Oh, thank you, Will. Dom says, "Deserved a much longer suspension, in my opinion. 66 reported allegations is insane." Malin, do you have the Facebook video up?
Yeah, so myself put out there that 6 games is whack. We'll get into that later. Othaniel Smith said, "Compared to other suspensions for smaller issues like weed or gambling, this is literally just a slap on the wrist." Tyler Kuhn 9933 said he should get the whole season. Someone posted that he was never proven guilty for anything. Keep in mind, William.not funny, or William.not.funny. Keep in mind, which that's a stupid name, but keep in mind that you don't have to be proven guilty in the court of law when it comes to the NFL. They don't have to go by the justice system. What Daniel Cadanez, he kind of wrote a book on this. Hey, hello, how's it going?
Hi. What podcast are you doing?
We're doing
This
a
is
sports
After
podcast.
Further Review, sports.
Okay, well, here with cigars.
Oh, yeah, we
Cheers.
are. Okay, well, guys, we just got our first drunk white woman of the day. That was cool.
Where's Shaq? We
There's been a few of them.
I'm glad I got to break down for y'all.
But the Shaq right now is glad that he threw his back out. Anyways, so this man said 6 games is kind of like the standard for the NFL now for high-profile cases. Ezekiel Elliott, Big Ben, both got 6 games for similar circumstances. First of all, not similar. Big Ben was 2. Ezekiel, I think, was 1. This man had 24. There's a bit of a different numbers game going on there. But they said when you look at the punishment for Calvin Ridley and the Miami Dolphins owner, you see the league's priority is protecting their product and star players winning games, protect the product. Now, I will agree with him on that, okay? And the fact that the NFL is going to do whatever they have to do to protect the shield.
Right.
Now, they put in play under the collective bargaining agreement that you would have an independent judge view these cases. And this woman, I want to state a woman, said that not only did she think that that Deshaun Watson lied to her, okay, which if that had been a court proceeding and under oath, he'd be in a lot of trouble.
Right.
Second, agreed that with the evidence she saw that there was sexual misconduct that took place. Okay. She felt that there was evidence that those things happened, but because she could not deem it as a violent nature, which I don't know how you cannot view sexual misconduct is of a violent nature, whether emotional or physical. I don't think you need to necessarily define it as physical. But if there's sexual misconduct, which means that someone is doing something sexually they don't really want to do, I think that's of a violent nature personally. Okay? She put it at 6 games because of what the NFL had done in the past, like Daniel was talking about. The beauty of this whole process, though, is that the NFL has enacted what they had the right to do, which is they can appeal the process. And the beautiful thing about this process is that guess who gets to oversee the appeal?
I don't know.
Roger Goodell. So the NFL, at the end of the day, is still going to be able to hand down whatever punishment they want to hand down, and the NFLPA cannot appeal that.
Gosh.
So this whole thing was collectively a bargain that you would have this appeals process that was independent of the NFL, right? And that the NFLPA or the NFL could appeal it. Well, the NFLPA is, of course, like, yes, 6 games, please. 24, bitch, please. We'll take the 6 games.
Yeah.
The NFL now can not only suspend him for however long they want to, but they can also institute a fine, which is how they're going to be able to get around his contract that he has. Because before, he was going to lose $300,000 in 6 games. Now it's in Roger Goodell's hands to do what he wants to do and find what he wants to find, and nobody can say anything about it. Again, protecting the shield, the NFL is big business, and they're smart.
Shaq.
I personally would have set his ass out for the rest of the season, to be honest with you. I feel like that would be much more for
I feel like that's what's about to happen.
I think he's going to be out the year. I just thought it was really interesting that you had a female judge hand down 6 years.
Right, which is why I didn't really have much of an issue. I was like, if she finds it right that 6 games was just, then all right. But if the NFL said, all right, hold up here.
But the thing that was troubling was on 2 sides, though. Was that one, I was thinking 6 games, cool, independent, right? But then I read her statement. And the fact that she agreed that just with the 5 people that the NFL allowed her to interview, not all 24, but the 5, she was able, with the evidence she had from the testimonies, and then stating that she thought that Deshaun Watson lied to her, that she found evidence that there was sexual misconduct even with just those 5.
Yeah.
I thought the suspension should have been more. But she used NFL precedents for this type of stuff that had happened in the past. But we all know that the NFL has kind of been a joke in the past on how they've handled these types of situations.
Yeah.
So, but I think the NFL is about to bring the hammer down.
Yeah.
I think good old Goodell with his $38 million is about to take a whole year from Deshaun Watson. I think that's really going to happen. So, can we just, for 1 second, understand the fact that some privileged white lady decided that she had the right to come in here and interrupt our whole show like she's so goddamn important?
I thought you had a hot take.
Who the fuck?
She stood there for a hot
Yeah.
before she said everything.
Yeah, I thought you were just going to say hi and then that was it. But then she started talking. I was like, hold on, you got a take to give us?
I was like, can you go drink your goddamn barefoot Moscato someplace else? What the hell? That is ridiculous.
Well, she's still in here somewhere, or did she leave? I didn't see where she went.
She walked back towards the other side of the bar.
She's here somewhere.
Well, she may come back around.
She's outside. She might show herself again, because apparently she's important.
Well, important enough to show herself on this show, so.
It ain't that important then.
We've had a lot of questionable guests on the show. So.
G Money says, I thought she was your waitress bringing you more beer. Negative, G Money.
Nope. She was just someone that wanted to know what we were doing. Just felt that she was like, oh shit, there's a camera. I need to be on that camera. That's what happened.
Let's keep it moving here because in about an hour, we got to be up out of here anyway.
We gotta go to break.
Next piece of comments here. I also asked the question earlier today, who the people think is going to be the best quarterback out of the AFC North this upcoming season. And I got an array of responses. So on TikTok, 2 people said Joe Burrow, one person said Deshaun Watson, and then one person said Lamar. Up here, if I go on Facebook.
You know who they're not talking about, Shaq? They're not talking about Piggy Pickett or Mark Trubisky.
I was going to say, nobody put
Ain't no one thinking about the black and gold, my friend.
All right, Instagram. There was a bit of confusion here. I don't know what's wrong with people. Some Alex 2751 said Herbert. Okay.
Alex 2020 needs to lay off the weed.
Jace plays basketball, says Joe or Pat, and then he got into a big argument with somebody saying who's Pat, and then he said Patrick Mahomes, and his buddy said he doesn't play in the AFC North, and then people are stupid.
This is why we can't trust. This is why we are as we are in the country right now, because we can't follow simple fucking directions.
Another vote for Joe Burrow, and then another vote for Deshaun Watson. I was surprised that as many people said Deshaun Watson as there was more people that said Watson than Lamar Jackson.
Okay, I will make this short and sweet because I know we got to go to break. If Lamar Jackson is healthy and he plays the whole 17 games, I think it's Lamar Jackson. If Joe Burrow, if he doesn't, let's say he misses even 3 games, because I already think it's going to be neck and neck between the two, I think Joe Burrow. But I think it's going to be neck and neck with the two of them, but I think that if Lamar Jackson can escape injury and he's healthy the whole year and he's able to be Lamar Jackson, I think he's going to be the best one in the division. And anyone that left him off the top 10 of their list of quarterbacks is just fucking stupid. Unanimous MVP, like 3 years. Shut the fuck up, people. Damn morons.
Waiting for on that. Shaq, do you have any comment on the people's choice?
I think people's choice, I agree with Mel on this one. Lamar Jackson, I thought it's going to be the overall winner of this if he can play his full season.
Right.
So I know Joe for the real respect that man. I know he's an amazing quarterback, but I think Lamar, his experience and just overall is going to take it.
All right. We will go to a break. Shout out to the AFR community for coming through with a bunch of hot takes. See what you guys come up with next week. So we'll go to a break. We'll be back in 7.5 minutes with our What's Up With That.
In my head, can't get it out of my mind. I hear what never was said. I feel the unknown with the fears in my head. They attach, they latch. I got a brand new batch. They don't lack, that's facts. No slack. Pimp tight, attached from the inside. They'll fuck up any kind of night. They'll fuck up any kind of vibe. Playing tricks with your mind. I cannot get it over.
and you don't.
I will. How about this? Here's my bet. I will show up to the bar with the Juju jersey. If we win, I will give it to you, and you have to wear the Juju jersey on the show next Wednesday if the Steelers win.
But Shaq cannot take the jersey off at any point during the game.
That's fair. fair
On
enough.
the whole game.
They bring 5. Smith goes sideline. It's caught by Metcalf, who lost the football, and it's recovered by Sweet. Inbounds with the clock running and no timeouts. And they scramble to kill it. Down to 3 and 2. They line up with 1.
Yeah, pretty freaking plain.
I'm chucking this shit into Del Mabry. By the way,
How can you not see that there is 1 second on the clock? This is emotional. Boy, you better spike the shit out of this, Gino. Oh, what do you mean wide left? There was... No, he thought we were friends. Yeah, you better fold that shit up. We ain't done yet. Come on. Get off the bar.
I respect your attitude here.
We'll be quiet.
No, it's great. You're laughing and having a good time.
He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
8 fans fell out of the stands as Jalen Hurts is walking into the tunnel. I will just preface this by saying all those people were just fine, no serious injuries. They were all right, but goddamn, that was funny to watch.
Fortunately, knowing how the Eagles fans are built, the last thing you should do is lean their body weight against anything.
First of all, you got to be a real diehard Eagles fan to be reaching out that far to get a high five from Jalen Hurts. Like I said, is only averaging 188 yards passing a game. Okay, I'm just saying.
Live chat here, TW1. I swear, y'all come out of fucking potholes like cockroaches. Steady Eagles haters. We aren't going to win the Super Bowl, but we might win the wild card.
What does
maybe.
What does that matter? What does that matter?
TW1, 50% of teams have a shot at winning the wild card. Maybe.
I swear to God, these Eagles fans just really be riding whatever wave they can catch. They're going to catch a rip off a puddle that would rhyme it.
I love how we're not even talking about the Eagles right now.
Yes,
exactly. Where the fuck you even find this, bro?
He's like, we're talking about the other team in Pennsylvania, people.
First question. Who is currently leading the NFL in reception yards?
I'm going with Arizona.
I'm a player. Sorry, player.
Larry. I'm going with Larry.
Larry who?
Fitzgerald.
Oh my God. No.
Current.
Currently.
He's not still in the Arizona Cardinals? Where's he at?
Cooper.
Just drink.
Oh, okay.
Which current quarterback that is actively playing has thrown the most interceptions so far this season?
Heineke.
No. Okay, no. It's Mahomes and Zach Wilson. Dang it.
Really?
Yes. Drink.
You deserve that L. Do it.
Your head coach, Ron Rivera, he won a Super Bowl in the 80s as a part of what team?
Fuck it, Michigan.
No.
Wait.
NFL.
NFL, my guy. NFL.
Oh. Oakland Raiders.
It was a good guess.
That's good. It was Washington, wasn't it?
It was the Bears, actually.
Oh, the Bears, okay.
Which current running back, has the most yards at the first initial contact?
Jesus.
45 seconds.
What was your
You were wiping your forehead. Don't worry about it.
What they got to do with me and my
Henry.
Does me wiping my forehead change time?
It does, because that's like a time zone.
Who was our quarterback at Washington or Redskins? He was the first black quarterback on the Washington football team. Why are you asking me this? Oh my God. Jason Campbell.
No,
hell
fuck
no. I was the first black quarterback.
Nigga, you born to need that?
He was the first black quarterback was watching. Or
Doug Williams is just as black. Ryan knows he needs some water.
If Ryan makes you do the entirety of the show, give him a medal order for it.
I mean, listen, hey, he thought that Fitzgerald was still playing, so.
Not just still playing, but had no.
At an all-pro level.
Remember to follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at AFR Sports. That's at AFR Sports. Now back to the show with your hosts Jalen, Shaquille, and Malin.
Welcome back, folks, to the second half of your favorite show on the internet. Let me get this off the screen. We have, of course, everybody else coming back. NG Money is here. I think he's still here.
Guys, I appreciate you having me back again.
Yes. Excuse our dust here. I gotta get G Money into the frame.
While Jalen is getting everybody in the frame here, I would just like to say that the woman that came into our podcast, we'll talk about foot and mouth. I went and talked to her during the break, and she is actually kind of a pretty phenomenal woman. Her name is Cynthia, and she is the owner of the A. Fuente Cigar Company. 123 years business, family business. She runs it. She thought we were doing a cigar podcast.
Right.
Because we are at a cigar bar at the Big Corona. King Corona. So we do got to do a shout out to them.
Big shout.
She interrupted the sports podcast. She thought we were doing a cigar podcast. I'm the type of man that can admit when I'm wrong. And
yes.
I was 100% wrong.
We were.
I have probably about 5 of these sticks from the Fuentes brand in my house. And so she gave me her business card, and hopefully we can make some connections there. And
yes.
She was really nice. But now we got G Money and Shaq somehow, some way, in the little box there. We're doing the best we can, people.
On the fly, that was the best I could do. You can hear him, you can see him. That's
there you
all
go.
That matters.
That's what we got going on, people.
So, yes, big shout out to Cynthia, big shout out to King Corona. And with that being said, let's get into what's up with that for the week. Now, remember, everybody, 1 per person. We've got 40 minutes here. Let's just keep it there.
That was mainly directed at me, people. Don't worry about it.
Shaq, you can go ahead and go first.
Alright, somebody's so gone. Playing that track.
Jesus.
So I think we touched on this in the previous episode about me talking about KD's status on the rankings. I have officially put Giannis way above the KD aspect of the greatest players. And I feel like at this point in time, there's not much KD can do, in my opinion, top Giannis, especially if Giannis finds a way to win another ring, which I'm sure he will. Purely because the way that Giannis has won his rings, I feel like he's proven a lot more than any KD's rings, so I give Giannis so much credit of a much more all-around player so far where he's at. So, my opinion, putting it out there.
Well, let's not pluralize rings when you're talking about Giannis, because the man has one, Shaq.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if that's the drugs talking. And you know what? I don't think Giannis would have won a ring with Russell Westbrook either. And Durant was the best player on the Warriors when he won his 2. But I do see where you're going. I love the fact that you have someone like Giannis that is loyal and wants to stay home. He's doing what Dame Lillard couldn't do, which is win a championship in a small market. So I credit the organization. I credit Giannis for staying with them and allowing them to build that team that could win it. Unfortunately, I think he's only going to win one there because of the movement and the way that the NBA works. But I think that NBA championship does speak volumes. Just like I think that LeBron James's championship in Cleveland is the most important one that he won. So I'm about like 70% there with you, Shaq, on that assessment.
Like maybe 60. I do agree that he's the best player in the world right now. Yes.
Wait, what? No.
What's that?
Giannis is not the best player in the world.
I think he is.
Okay. We don't have enough time in this episode to get into that.
But yeah.
Is
Anyway.
LeBron James still playing?
Of course he is.
Okay. So I was just throwing that out. Okay, I digress. Who's next?
G Money, you can go ahead.
So mine's kind of piggybacking on Shaq.
That's a big back.
Basically, when people make lists of the best NBA players, sliding down that slope.
We got big backs on Shaq.
They tend to look at players either that they've actually seen play or some that they've seen on TV from clips, but they stop at like 1984. Anybody before 1984 the NBA didn't exist before 1984. I mean, we just saw Bill Russell pass. You got to see a lot of clips of him playing and just dominating. And understand that during that time, Wilt Frazier was playing. He was a dominating center until he played against Bill Russell. People don't talk about Oscar Robinson. They don't talk about Jerry West. They don't talk about the Iceman. They don't, because people don't know who they are. You bring those names up. I guarantee you talk to 10 average NBA fans and you say, hey, before Bill Russell passed, you talk about him, they'll say, oh yeah, wasn't he on TV at some point? They have no clue what he did. And if they actually kept track of blocks per game, he would have averaged close to 7 blocks a game. So yeah, that's it. Fans, you gotta be a fan of a sport, be a total fan. Look at the history. Look at some of the players that went in the 60s, in the 70s. Hell, before 1984, you know? That's my what's up with that.
Well, I will agree with you on that. That I think an unfair knock that Bill Russell gets is that he played in the league at a time where part of the time they only had 8 teams. But the man did revolutionize defense. Like, block shots wasn't even a thing before he did it. And I just saw one of the coolest ladies I ever met in my life just walking into this bar. She is living her best life. That is awesome. Beyond that, okay, so my what's up with that? I'm going to go next.
Cool.
And I'll let you go. So I want to talk about the Cowboys. Man, we got people taking selfies in this place right now. We are living life. The Dallas Cowboys were just rated is the most expensive, highest profitable, worth the most, $7.62 billion. Now, when Jerry Jones bought the team, I'm pretty sure he bought it for $400 million. They have not won a Super Bowl since 1995. They're now worth $7.62 billion. $600,000 more than the Yankees that have 27 championships. Okay, now, here's a question I have for you. Since the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl in 1995, we're gonna go. Now we got selfies going on too. This is great. So we'll go 1996 till now. There are only 3 teams in the NFC that have not been to an NFC championship game. Can you or Shaq name them? G Money cannot be a part of this because we talked about it last night.
Since 1996, 3 teams in the NFC that have not been played.
That have not been to the NFC Championship game. There's 3 of them.
I'm going to say the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
I'm going to say...
You got to go quick. We got to end this bitch.
You're right. The Lions, the... Oh. Who's been bad that long? Shaq, you got anybody? Oh, is the Cowboys?
Cowboys. And who else, Shaq? Who else, Shaq? There's one other team.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna give you guys about 15 seconds.
Texans?
The
Texans in the AFC. Jesus Christ, man, get off the drugs.
Oh man, I know. I was gonna say the Panthers, but it's not.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say it for the sake of time. The Washington football team, Washington Commanders.
Damn it!
So, I say that to say this. Now, first of all, next week, I have a whole trivia for you and Shaq next week that we're gonna do, but we can't do it this week for the second time. But I got a whole trivia thing on playoffs and Super Bowls. But since 1996, the Dallas Cowboys, the Detroit Lions, and the Washington football team, Redskins, Commanders, whatever the fuck you want to call them, have not been to the NFC Championship game. And furthermore, those are the only 3 teams that have not been to the NFC Championship game 2 times. Everybody else in the NFC has gone at least twice.
Wow.
But
crazy.
So you have an NFL football team worth $7.62 billion that has not been relevant since 1996. You want to know what that means? Jerry Jones is the greatest businessman that's ever lived.
Jesus.
The fact that team is worth what it is, yet they've been as irrelevant as what they have been.
They're the most valuable sports franchise in the world, correct?
Yes.
That's
world.
Asinine.
World.
More than Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Yes.
That is nuts.
Have not been to the
Liverpool, Manchester United,
right?
Not the Super Bowl, but haven't even been to the NFC Championship game. And they are in a conversation with the likes of the Detroit Lions and the Washington team. Yet they're worth $7 billion.
Jeez.
How the fuck did Jerry Jones pull that off?
Jerry Jones, baby.
I mean, that is better than like whatever Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos has done. Like, what the hell? So that's my what's up with that. Like, how the fuck did he pull that off?
Props to him. That is American capitalism at its finest right there.
For America's team.
Apparently America's not used to winning anymore because that's what the Cowboys have been doing.
Alright, so mine what's up with that, very random, but so Gardner Minshew has this, he's been basically living like the van life for the past summer, like the off season.
He does it every off season.
Oh, I didn't know that was I thought it was new. So he has like this bus that he outfitted to like this 70s bus. It was like a prison inmate bus that he decked out.
He started with an RV his rookie year in Jacksonville.
Interesting. And now he moved to this. So the bus itself is awesome. I mean, he's living a hell of a life. But he made this video on Instagram where he explained like what he's been doing this summer and living out the bus and how awesome it is. Something else that he mentioned in the written caption next to it, though, was there's been a lot of love making going on inside of this bus. Great, good for him. He's now selling this bus to anybody who's interested. And he mentioned, I'm going to read his own words here. This former inmate transport bus has been completely rehabilitated and would be perfect as a tailgater for Birds games, semi or permanent residence, and obviously and most tastefully as a love shack, baby. I want to know what is wrong with Eagles fans, because that's obviously who's going to be purchasing this, that they would willingly buy this bus knowing that this man has just been piping down girls all summer inside of this vehicle. And you're going to just buy it and be like, man, this is great.
First of all, let's establish the fact that he's the backup quarterback, right?
Correct.
Now, there is no cooler player in the NFL than Gardner Minshew.
Probably.
This man in college playing for Washington State University was getting off the team plane with red velvet suits with bolo ties. Okay? He brought back jorts, which are jeans cut into 5-inch shorts. Okay? He brought back the porn stash. He brought back the mullet. This man is an institution in and of himself. He's probably Dos Equis. Needs to sign this man right now is the next most interesting man in the world with the life that he's living.
Absolutely.
So when you put it like that, I'll buy the goddamn bus.
Don't buy the bus.
I can Febreze the shit out of that thing. Like, this man
has 3 generations sitting in that bus seat.
This man probably impregnated 15 people in the bus. There's generational people that are going to pay me money to come see where their life started at some point.
Making a museum.
Like, I don't even like the Washington State Cougars, but Gardner Minshew, man, he is a different human being. You want to talk about living by your own rules. He does not give a shit what anybody thinks of him. He's literally the coolest person in the NFL right now.
He is.
I wish he played for the Seahawks. I wish he was the starter for the Seahawks. He would be better than Drew Lock. He'd be better than Geno Smith. He'd be better than Jacob Eason right now for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I've got no issue with him or his bus. It's the fans that would be like, I'll take it, Gardner.
I mean, you can change a countertop, a driver's seat, and a bed, because I'm pretty sure that most of the time he was piping people, it wasn't in the bed. He was probably doing a lot of different stuff. Probably did somebody on a frying pan on the floor, probably. But no, because that's who Gardner Minshew is, man. He's fucking wild. Yeah, I can guarantee you right now. I can guarantee you right now, there are ass cheeks on every window that bus has because of who Gardner Minshew is. Like, there has not been a woman's ass cheeks on any, like, every square foot, even the ceiling. He was finding a way to put a woman's ass cheeks on that ceiling. Like, he was doing everything he could to impregnate the whole bus. And I'd still buy it because it's fucking cool. Because he's cool.
When we talk about time, remember we talking about busting nuts on the go on this bus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably put that shit on cruise control.
Let's move into the last segment of the day, shall we? So, we are going to be continuing our record predictions. We are done with the AFC, and we're moving into the NFC now with none other than everybody's favorite division, the NFC South.
I would just like to point out real quick that this was not my decision. That Jalen has fallen down and hit his head repeatedly with the way that he's come up with each division that we do things. I don't know if G Money went to take a piss break or if he went to go get his papers, but he's no longer sitting in his chair. But that's why we're doing the NFC South, people, because we truly acknowledge that every other podcast and show goes east to west and then east to west again. But Jalen wants to fly a different route.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing.
That's how this show works, baby.
I like how that you keep showing up right there in that little portion of the goddamn camera.
On the corner, yeah.
That's beautiful.
I can't really do anything about that right
I
now.
don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, I need to bust out my record predictions here for this division. Mainland, you want to go first with? We'll start with Tampa. It's only right. So
Okay. So I have Tampa going 10-7. I got the NFC South going a little low because I think that Tampa's kind of fallen off a little bit with some of their talent. You know, the Godwin's coming back from a knee injury. And I'm never going to count out Tom Brady, so I do have him going number one in the division. But I think that the NFC South a little bit is going to come back to earth a little bit. I know that they play the NFC North. I do think that the Vikings are going to be somewhat of a player this year. I think that the Lions can steal a game every now and then. I still think, I know a lot of people aren't really thinking this, I still think Green Bay is going to be Green Bay. And Green Bay's great in the regular season, but they're shit in the postseason. So I think they could even steal games. So I got Tampa going 10-7, 7-5 in the conference, 5-1 in their own division, 4-5 at home, and 6-2 on the road. Actually, when I did the whole 18 weeks, 17 games. So Tampa 10-7.
Real quick, I've got Tampa being a lot more happy this year than Mainland does. I've got them going 14-3.
What the? Okay.
I've got them 6-0 in the division. Cannot see. I can't see anything outside of that right now. I may be able to. Give me a second, but if I look at their schedule here, they do have some tough games. NFL, I don't know why Tampa never has to go to Kansas City. Like the past 3 years or so, it's always here in Tampa. I don't understand that, but whatever. Obviously, their division is just as easy as it gets.
Yeah, but they got Green Bay, Kansas City, they got Baltimore, LA just in the first half of the season before they even go on a bye.
I love how you skipped over a particular team.
Yeah, I did. I didn't mention Pittsburgh or Seattle. And New Orleans.
Disrespectful.
No, Tom Brady has not beat New Orleans in the regular season.
That's true. Right, as a Buccaneer, right.
As a Buccaneer, like he does not beat them. I do think that San Francisco is still going to give them trouble. Arizona is still a good team, but they're playing them in the second half of the year, so that's a W for them. But that's why I got them going 10-7. I think they're going to lose some of those non-divisional, non-conference games.
Okay.
And they don't even got Gronk. They don't even got a favorite target.
They got Kyle Rudolph now.
Sure. That's cute. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. That's cool. He's going to show up on Christmas Eve.
Shaq's got a Rudolph, too. He's going to save it.
That's Rudolph.
G-Money, who or what do you have the Bucks going?
13-4, and that was before Jensen went down. So, obviously that could change.
Yeah, my record looks a little bit better with Jensen being down, don't it, people?
I just think they're too good, definitely in their own division. I have them going 5-1. I have them losing a game to New Orleans, and New Orleans beat them twice last year, and they just seem to have their number. But if you look at the competition in their division, there isn't any, not for them.
Yeah.
And you're right. They don't seem to play a lot of hard games away. They play them at home. So.
Yeah, well, they don't really have that much of a home field advantage because Tampa sports fans are a bunch of bandwagon people. They don't know how to support a team.
I heard. I don't want to bring that up. You might be here for a second. Shaq, go ahead.
Cutting that to Bucks being 12-5 this season.
Okay.
They're doing really well. Dropping minutes in a couple of games that it's going to be a 50-50 toss-up for them. And they got a couple hard games going in there. It's not going to be easy game for them. 12-5 is what I have for them.
All right. So I'm either going to be smart or stupid at the end of this year. That's cool.
I hope you're smart because I don't want to see Tampa fans.
I hate
have
fucking
anything.
Tampa.
Neither do I.
Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh, love Carolina.
Malin, what do you have the Panthers going this year?
Well, I got the Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. Doesn't matter who the fuck it is, because McCaffrey's going to get hurt 4 weeks into the season, anyways. I got them going 6-11. And when I was picking every game on the site that I told you guys to pick, and what's the name of that site? Anyways, because people need to use that.
Playoff Predictors. Next.playoffpredictors.
So net.playoffpredictors. If anybody wants to go through the whole year and pick who you think is going to be, Playoff Predictors or playoff.net predictors. What is it?
Next.playoffpredictors.com.
Yes, I found this website. Put everybody else onto it. It allows you to pick every single game. I actually thought that I was picking them for more wins than I thought, but then when I got to the end of it and I looked at all of it, and I was like 6-11, and I was like, that's about right. That is about right. 6-11 is probably where the best they can do.
Yes. So
Shaq gonna say 3 games and get nervous if they go 3-0 again after next year.
Shaq, what do you have them going?
I actually haven't flipped up that tough schedule. I'm actually having going 5-12.
Okay.
Season. It's the Panthers. I'm sorry. There's not much of a high hope for them.
So you think they're 2 games better with Baker Mayfield than what they were last year with Sam Darnold?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
G-Money?
I've got them going 4-13. That was, of course, before the Baker Mayfield trade. And, yeah, I do think Baker Mayfield's better than Sam Darnold. But I also see McCaffrey getting injured in, Game 5 and being out for the rest of the season. And, if you don't have that threat there, what do you have? DJ Moore. That's about it.
I do like that G-Money is more optimistic on how long McCaffrey's going to last this year, but less optimistic on the wins than me.
Which one of y'all dropped McCaffrey though this season in fantasy?
Oh, you're probably going to draft McCaffrey, Shaq. That's what you're probably going to do.
I'm drafting him in the 6th or 7th round.
Nah, Shaq going to pick him up in the 1st round. You're going to... Shaq going to do Shaq things. I mean...
I'm in complete agreement with G-Money. I also have them 4-13.
God damn, I went on the high side on this. Okay. Shit.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't see a situation where McCaffrey does not get injured within the first half of the season at best. And then when you're duking it out with Sam Darnold and the Baker Mayfield who's been there for 2 months at this point, I can't see that ending very well in Carolina. So
watch McCaffrey stay healthy the whole year and then win 9 games.
Blow through all of our predictions.
God damn it. We are all predicating all of our picks on a white guy at running back staying healthy. Watch him prove us wrong.
I would love to I love me some Christian McCaffrey. I really want to see him stay healthy. But unfortunately, history has not shown that that's
the man has bigger biceps than his head. I don't know if that's a good thing to have. I'm really glad that Shaq does not have bigger biceps in his head. Otherwise, he'd already ended my life with the comments I've made.
We got to give a shout out to Nori, friend of the show, who's a big Panthers fan. I bring him up only because he went to a Panthers game last year and had the opportunity to actually meet Christian McCaffrey, but left the stadium early and missed out on his chance to meet him. So that sucks. Anyway, we move on to
that's pretty much like Panthers fan missing him in the starting lineup most of the year. So after they got all that goddamn money, that's what they get.
We're gonna move into the bowels of the NFC South here. The Atlanta Falcons up next. Malin, what do you have the Falcons doing?
Well, I got the vaunted ATL. I say that because that's what they have on their jerseys because they're trying to be cool. Who else abbreviates their fucking city name the way that They're like an FCS school, not even Division I school at this point. I have them going 2-15.
Jesus.
2-4 in the division. Somehow 0-9 on the road, which would suck because of that brand new fucking stadium they have and the amount of money people are paying for beer to watch them lose. But yeah, 2-15. They ain't got no quarterback. They're probably starting a rookie quarterback. If Calvin Ridley is your best player, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So,
Shaq, go ahead.
4-13. Man, it's such a bad division altogether. Football. Yeah, one good team, another halfway decent team, and the rest is just god awful. So yeah, I'm going 4-13, and these are some lucky games that they win at home to their own divisional rivals. They might sneak out a win or so. So that's it.
G Money.
Well, Atlanta has a quarterback that is so good that Tennessee had to trade for Tannenbaum. So yeah, 0-17.
Shit.
Yeah, they're not winning a game. I mean,
they are the next Cleveland Browns.
On the Atlanta team, right?
Kyle Pitts, Marcus Mariota, Calvin Ridley.
Is he actually on the team, or is he still suspended?
No, he's at home.
He keeps betting on them and losing.
He's at home, so too.
So what G Money is saying is that not only do they have the worst uniforms in football, but they're going to have the worst record.
Yeah, sorry, Atlanta.
So that's cool.
I don't know what else you have really going on.
Kind of makes you wonder why Mercedes wants to have their naming rights on two of the teams in this division. New Orleans and Atlanta are the naming rights they have on two stadiums. That's ridiculous. They bet the wrong horse.
Yeah.
And while we're at it, how is it that in the NFL, the two worst divisions are in the South, yet in college football, the best teams are in the South? What the hell is going on? I'm just throwing that out there. We can talk about that later, but we got 13 minutes, people.
Yes. I have the Falcons going 3-14. The only 3 wins I have them grabbing are their first win against the Saints, the first game of the season, and against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just playing.
Okay.
Against the Panthers at home and against the Bears at home. Those are
I am definitely the pessimist of this group with this division. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, so that's the Falcons. Let's move on to the last team here, the Saints. Mainland, what do you have the Saints doing?
Well, I mean, we got Crab Legs Winston running the show. Sure. Nobody knows if Michael Thomas is ever going to play again. We don't know if he's still holding out, if he's still hurt. We don't know. Like, I don't know. Does he have, like, long COVID? I don't know what the fuck going on with him. But Alvin Kamara is still there. Mm-hmm. And they do got a pretty good defense. But I think they have I think his name is Dennis Allen. I think that's the head coach, who was the head coach of the Raiders, who have not been relevant since I was 20 years old, and I'm 41 now. So that means he wasn't good. So I have New Orleans going 6-11. I'm going 2-4 in the division. I think both their wins are against Tampa in the division. Why? Because they've won 4 in a row against Tom Brady and the Bucs. Okay. For some reason, they have their number, and that defense gets after Tom Brady in a way that nobody else in the NFL does, and no one else is smart enough to copy what the fuck the Saints are doing. And I would also, that is a good old-looking old-fashioned you got going on there, Jalen. It looks like you have some, is that a slice of mango? Cantaloupe?
No, it's an orange.
Orange. Okay, that's an orange peel. Okay.
It's a rum old fashioned.
Rum old fashioned. That's not an old fashioned then. That's just rum on ice with an olive and some sugar. It's not an old fashioned.
Well, I have this phenomenal Flames team. I'm gonna put them at 8 and 9 for this wonderful season. Still losing record, but I say they're a tad bit better than a lot of teams like this expect them to be, and that's what's gonna get them those extra wins. 8 and 9.
You know what this tells me? This man is Shaq is going to draft Christian McCaffrey and Michael Thomas on his fantasy football team.
I'm convinced that Michael Thomas looks like
Book it.
Squidward's house.
Book it. Shaq's going to do it.
Anyway, G-Money, go ahead.
I've got the New Orleans going 5-12. New head coach. We don't know how Winston's going to come back from his injury. Kamara's suspended for the first 6 games. And Michael Thomas, once again, we don't know how he's going to come back. Too many questions on offense. And if you're going to expect the defense to carry you, I don't know. I just don't see it.
Yes, which is the exact reason I only have them winning 2 games this year.
But before you go on, Jalen, I would just like to point out that I am the only person in this whole show that is within 2 games of anybody on all 4 teams.
Right.
Betting. I am betting so far different than the rest of you guys. I'm actually a little bit nervous now. I don't know, not because of Shaq, and not to disrespect you, John, but because of G Money. Because there's a reason why I call him G Money. He's smart and he makes money. So I'm a little nervous about my picks now, but yeah.
How many games did you have them winning again?
6.
6. Okay.
Yeah. Shaq has them going 8.
9, yeah. G-Money 5-12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only have them winning 2 games. Just the coach question mark, quarterback question mark. Kamara last year was a little weird. Michael Thomas again, God knows if he's gonna play. So the only 2 wins I have them grabbing are against. Where are these 2 wins? The Vikings and the Falcons.
I can see the Falcons. Vikings, is that like one of those wins where you think, oh, they're just going to overplay there?
Yes.
And in America, that is one of the troubles when you're picking every single game in an NFL season. You have to try to predict when a team is going to lose one that they should win.
Right.
Or win one that they should lose.
And when it comes to the Jets, the Lions, those kind of teams,
the Saints,
all right,
Atlanta,
right? Where are they going to randomly drop or randomly win one of those kind of games? So I'm saying for the Saints to compete against Minnesota, but yeah, I haven't only won in 2 games this year. Whole NFC South is just a shit show.
I just, real quick, G-Money, do you have anybody else going 0-17? Or are the Falcons the worst team? Or not the Falcons? Was it Falcons?
Yeah, it's the Falcons.
Are they the worst team in the NFL, in your opinion?
Yeah, they are, because trying to think, the one linebacker they have, they didn't even want him to play.
Yeah,
Deontay,
that's true.
I know he's making $20 million this year, and they don't even want him on the field. I mean, not even playing. They don't want him on the field. They don't want him in the locker room, and he's going to go there because he's going to get paid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you start off with that, and then you look at the quarterback situation. They've got a couple of decent players, but that's it. I mean,
You don't think Mariota can win one game for him?
I mean, do I think they can get lucky? Sure they can get lucky. I mean, it's possible. They catch someone sleeping, or
you think they can catch Chicago sleeping?
I mean, goddamn, Mariota and Justin
Probably
Fields.
still better than
That has to be a Thursday game, right?
It's Sunday at 1 o'clock,
Oh,
baby.
okay, that's almost as bad.
November 20th,
Yeah.
cold as shit. And
Like
actually,
we,
it's at
we,
home,
we,
so
we all know if the Jaguars and the Falcons were playing this year, that would be one of those Thursday games.
Yeah.
That's what that would be.
I think the Jaguars and the Jets is a Thursday night game at some
Yeah,
point.
it
this
should
year.
be.
That's the dumbest
Zach
thing I've ever heard
Wilson
of.
and Trevor Lawrence.
Jesus Christ.
God bless us.
You staying up and watching that?
Jaguars are going to wear their gold jerseys. Jets are going to wear their
Somebody
black
wasting
jerseys. And a bunch of people are going to be playing Parcheesi and Uno and drinking beer with that game in the background.
An entire stadium is going to be turned on to watch those two teams, to host those two teams.
Yeah. Some people will have paid thousands of dollars to be in the suite that night for that game. And
that
we
game
wonder
should be played in Germany.
we wonder why we're hitting a recession. I mean, meanwhile, the Seahawks and the Bucks are hitting Super Bowl prices.
Yeah, Jesus.
For reasons
God.
passing.
Yeah.
Fucking. Yeah, they should be playing on a Sunday in Tampa, so I should go to the fucking game.
But instead, it's 9:30 a.m. Tickets as low as $500.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I need a reason to drink beer at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we'll see that stadium packed.
But that's also 6:30 in the morning for Gary and G Money over there. This man's gonna wake up taking shots to watch that travesty because we're gonna get our ass kicked. And I really wish it didn't happen.
I'll be drunk by halftime.
Oh, I'll be drunk before we even tip off.
By halftime, the sun will just have come up for G Money.
I'll be starting off with Irish coffees, and then like by halftime I'm doing freaking car bombs, and then by the end of the fourth quarter I'm passed out on the floor in in a puddle of drool.
By halftime, I'm going to be laying on the couch wondering if it's Monday yet. That's what I'm going to be doing. That's a big ass couch too. I love my couch. It's like two twin beds, like put up together. It's
It is a
wonderful.
big couch.
So I'm a big person, Dylan. I had to buy a couch that Shaq could sit on because we were going to do a show at some point. And I'd just like to point out before we leave, because we got 3 minutes left.
One in real quick.
Earlier in the show, G Money said that he was piggyback off of Shaq. And I would just like to let America know that the visual image of G Money piggyback off of Shaq would be G Money holding on to Shaq's head because that's bigger than his shoulders. He would, like, G Money would look like a gremlin in a backpack on Shaq. If we were doing that.
Y'all just on one today.
Well, now you're on one. You're sitting down, immobilized, so we can say whatever the fuck we want without repercussions. Because you decide to fight a homeless person in the ER, or you got the HADS. I don't know. I still think you might have the HADS, the heavy ass dome syndrome. I don't know.
Shaq, you better watch. You might need some knee braces because that's the next thing to go is the knees.
Yep, them knees have been. How old are you, Shaq?
28.
28, yeah, them knees have been carrying a load. And you know what? While we're at it, we need to say a prayer for Shaq's mom. Because that's a big ass head. That woman probably needed stitches. That's mean. Shaq, you hurt your mom when you were born. You broke your mother. Just whipped out like somebody out of a fucking alien movie. Just rawr. Well, they're turning the lights out on us right now, people.
Yeah, they are. They're telling you guys, get out.
Yep.
We don't know who Shaq is, but get the fuck up out of here.
Yep.
All right, folks. We do need to get up out of here. Thank you all for watching or listening. Anything else you guys want to mention before we depart?
Just appease my back, but that, no.
I would just say that, you know what? I don't know if your back would hurt more or less if you bought Minshew's bus, but maybe you should try it out a little bit. But other than that, I gotta say the co-pilot chair feels nice. It's cushiony.
Yeah.
It's got a good feel to it. I'm relaxed.
I highly enjoy this episode.
I'm moving up, people. Moving up in the world. I still have not been to Jalen's house, but I'm in the co-pilot chair, so I'm feeling good.
Thanks for watching, people. We will do more of these public episodes as football gets back into swing. We will see you all next week. Peace.
Peace, people.